Now we're checking to see if I got noise. So if you can hear me now, the target number is 8459-8365. There it is. Okie doke. So let us rock and roll. Okay, so yesterday um, I had to break away. Found out that the target was the Pied Piper of Hamelin. It was pretty interesting because a lot of the data lined up. Um, I was really happy with the results. Um, so it looked like it was in the winter. There's a bridge. There are audio frequencies. Possible mechanical. So, oh, and witnesses. There's people watching. Yeah, asbestos. Um, no, asbestos is um, God, that's been used for a long time in building stuff. So I assumed it was asbestos siding because uh, it made for very easy siding that was fireproof, held up together in the weather. So I assumed it was asbestos siding. It Asbestos has wonderful qualities. That has You go into some of those old villages and you'd be kind of amazed about how much active asbestos there is. That and lead. The 1200s. Yeah. So um, asbestos has been around since fire. You know, I'm sure the early man they noticed that a particular type of crystalline rock didn't burn at all, regardless of how hot the fire got, and it stayed cool to the touch when exposed to a lot of heat on one side, so that the fire temperatures didn't pass through. It's a wonderful substance. So, but it's also very distinctive. So, on that note, the the Pied Piper. I never did look at him. So one of the things about the Pied Piper that is kind of distinctive. I know the stories all talk about this willowy tall person that comes dancing into the town and works his magic with the rats, usually with a flute or a lute or whatever, something that makes noise. So all the stories talk about somebody tall and willowy. Um, let's see, from Google, asbestos production began in the Urals of Russian Empire in the 1980s. Yeah, but that's production. You're talking about you're talking about the actual production of mining and manufacturing of goods and materials with asbestos. Asbestos has been used as it's been used as liners and stuff for forges. For check check into forging manuals and some of the older forges back in the 15 and 1600s. You'll see that asbestos was actually used in some of that. So modern asbestos was chopped up and um, mixed with an additive to dampen it, and then pressed into shape, which gave us asbestos siding. So it had like shingles made of asbestos, and they took the asbestos, blew it up, heated it, and then blew it up so it was like light and friable, and then wrapped it around pipes for insulation. That was the modern asbestos. And I have waded through, God, I don't know, knee high deep full of rat poop and asbestos. So some of the buildings used quite a bit of it for insulation and wrapping pipes and boilers and stuff. And that's the modern version. So, but it's been around for a long time. Uh, yeah, I don't even know if they insulated their house. I'm assuming they did, but the 1200s, I don't know. That's a whole different. And the pipe. Oh, so here's the other thing: the Pied Piper was in a small town. I'm pretty sure that's on the European continent, and the 1200s would be. Um, the houses were mainly made of rock, brick, and large logs. So they had wood. They had wood chinking. Um, I'm trying to look at the roof. The roof. I don't know what type of roof that is, but I'm assuming the nicer houses had the nicer houses had slate, and the farmers' houses had, you know, thatch and the other stuff. So I don't know. The mayor's house had whatever the top quality material is. Um, is that Germany? I thought that was Britain for some reason. Um, but you know it's funny because when I look at the Pied Piper of Hamelin, he was not tall and willowy. He had severe spine distortion. I don't know if that was scoliosis or polio. He had something, one leg was shorter than the other, one leg shorter. His clothes were bright, a lot of reds, a lot of yellows, just brightly colored clothes. He had flowing things so he can spin around and would be very eye catching. Um, he may have been physically tall at one time, but his posture sucked. He had he had issues, and I'm 99% sure, 89% sure he was human, but he was a showman. and he made deals. Feels like a gypsy, or I don't know what you would call him. But this is kind of amazing. So yeah, a gypsy isn't a traveler. And I don't know what the current connotations of a gypsy is, but this person relied on going from town to town, marketing or selling or doing things, and then he would leave shortly thereafter. A simple aura scan on the Pied Piper. I can try. Um, yeah, I don't see why not. Romani. It's funny because a lot of the newer gypsies that I know of are very brightly dressed and very colorful people. They're very, I mean, everything they do is loud or bold. But that's the gypsies I'm exposed to. I don't know about the ones in the dark, the ones you don't see. I just know that this guy was very loud. And loud as in actions and not loud as in, well, he might have been loud as in a person, but it's more to me, it's like he's very quiet but very pronounced on his actions. So when he walked into town, people were there to watch him walk into town. Either, well, they didn't have any other distractions, so I mean, he would make a great distraction. Okay, so let's take a quick scan on him. So, wow, I'm almost out of orange. There we go. All right, so one thing I'm picking up is he has um, he has good in his heart, but he's also got anger, and he's also got, you know, typical human reactions. So for whatever reason, God, wasn't that the time of the Black Death or Black Plague? He is surrounded by death. Um, but the anger is, I think he keeps it under control, but it's definitely an aspect of his life. The other thing is his face is, um, I don't know. It looks like it literally looks like he's whistling, or he has. This looks like an audio vibration rather than a. I was going to say it looks like a mental vibration, but it's like an audio vibration. Maybe he was a whistler. Maybe he's whistling. Maybe he didn't need a flute, but maybe he could whistle quite well. Um, I can't imagine anybody whistling in. Uh, oh yeah. Oh, Black Death was 1346 to 1353. Yeah, that was shit. That was brutal times. Excuse my French. Yep. So I think this guy whistled, and I think he whistled a lot, or maybe sang, either whistled or sang. So he was a showman and so whistled. I wonder if he was. I wonder if he was perceptive or had any kind of skills. Kind of missing a color. I don't know what color I'm missing. Huh. So the deal with the Pied Piper is he looks like he's human. I'm pretty reasonably sure he's human. He had some pretty serious, spectacular issues. On one side, he's surrounded by a bunch of short people, and on the other side, he's surrounded by a bunch of animals, and both are most likely dead. Um, I can't imagine this guy killing everybody, but for whatever reason, he's surrounded by dead people over here and then dead animals over here. There is poison, And I don't know why there would be poison involved, but he had dealings with poison. And it tastes almondy, so that's what, cyanide? Cyanide. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure almond like. Is it almond like? Cyanide tastes almond like or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Anyways, this tastes like cyanide, but I don't know why he would have it. He's surrounded by death, but being in the Middle Ages, I can understand that. He's angry, and he's got anger in his heart. He whistles, but it looks like occasionally the energy does come through. I just don't think it comes through all the time. I think it gets blocked off by his his anger. Um, cool. Did living kids fall in for any reason? I'm kind of wondering if that whistling he does would attract. I think about it. If you're in a small town, like say Fargo, North Dakota, which is a very small town, and there's absolutely nothing to do except kick chickens and milk goats, and you're a child, and you heard a magical noise, either a flute or a whistle or something, and you don't know what it is, your instinct, because this is back in the early days or out in the country, your instincts would be to follow the noise. So, would the kids follow him? I think so. I mean, I think they would do it just out of curiosity to see what was going on. So to literally say he walked in and took all the kids away, it wouldn't be that hard because he's a showman, a very accomplished showman. He's bright and colorful, and he has a weird noise. And those three things would allow the Pied Piper to haul him away, haul the kids to wherever he wanted to go. And like I said, when they went over that bridge, they went down. So I don't know what that means. But I mean, selling kids for labor, that's back in the 1200s, that's the thing to do. I can imagine whole industries being built on child labor and slave labor. So it's not an unusual thing. It's just an event that got recorded. We just don't know how it went down. And as far as the rats go, the rats could be done the same thing because you can literally teach a rat how to respond to audio and visual stimuli. Is there a possibility that he literally brought the rats in and then called the rats out for money? Because to me, the rats were responding to a stimuli, and the chance of, in fact, I've seen a lot of stories written on the same thing, is the fact that the rats responded to his noise, he pulled them out of town out and would get paid for it. So there's a good chance that he came into town with the rats and then got paid to remove the rats. But for whatever reason, poison is very strong um, uh, with this person, and I don't know why. Can con artists be good at heart? Yeah, you bet. You could be a massive thief and still have a good heart. You could be a complete dictator and still want to take care of people. Um, you can be a complete psychopath and yet want to have good things done for certain people. Um, I don't know. I'm not a theist and I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know how it would actually work as far as what makes a good person and what makes a bad person. Doing things like killing a bunch of people is bad. But then again, you know, how do you judge a military person who goes in, kills a bunch of people for you know, the fact that we're at war? The person who dropped the atomic bomb in Japan, was he a good person? Yes, he was. Did he kill a whole bunch of people? Yes, he did. Is he a mass murderer? By according to all legal definitions, that boy is a mass murderer. But he did it for case of war. I don't know. I'm not a. That's kind of a loaded question. Was this guy a bad person? I don't know. But he had good qualities about him. So it's about the best I can do. Um, Let me check one thing. So that pretty much wraps it up for um, Hamilton, or the Pied Piper. I am I am gonna take a. I'm trying to see. I invited somebody to join us, but it doesn't look like he's gonna swing by. So I am going to drop this and write this down as done, because I think we got everything on here that we wanted to talk about. So let me make sure I send this to you. Are my lungs okay? No. Oh God, no. I'll be fine though. I got a I got a small head cold, and my lungs. Well, cold air. You know the usual routine. Cold air, dry cold air, just absolutely turns your lungs into mush. So I've been fighting nasal drainage, and I've been fighting my lungs just hurting like really bad. But that's okay. We'll be fine. Uh, cool. Well, folks, thanks for joining me on part two, the Pied Piper Revisited. I really hope I answered some questions about this guy. If anybody has any further questions about maybe what I can see, or if they have something they want to point out, I would love to hear any details. Uh, you guys have a good night, and I hope to catch you again on the next broadcast. All right, have a good one.